Okay, so here we are at Who on the 22nd of January, having our first go at some photogrammetry. And we've got Andy Spencer, one of our volunteers, and David in the background over there, another volunteer. We are trying to take a 3D image, or ultimately take a 3D image of these two logs. These are our keel logs, which came over from Swindon earlier this month. So, Andy, if you could just explain how you've actually set the site up ready to do the photogrammetry, and I'll ask you a few more questions so that we can let people know what's happening.
Okay, yeah, well, to start off with, Dave and I have been round, we've marked approximately every metre on the floor with some white tape, the same distance from the log, and we'll take a series of pictures from each spot at different heights, and then go around the tree. So we're going around the tree at one height, very low down, and we've just completed our second trip round at sort of our mid-height, and then ultimately we've got to set the camera up to come in at a higher angle, looking down on the top of the trunk. All these pictures are then be sent away to someone else to put into the software, and from that they can then generate a 3D image of the whole keel log. And it's important as well as the scale. There's a white stick, which is 1 metre long, which then will give us an idea that the overall length of the trunk is about 13 metres as it stands today. So in time we can get this into a computer program, and then you can just visualise the whole trunk being moved around and turned and done whatever you want with it in 3 dimensions.
Okay, and like everything on this shipbuilding project, it's all about experimenting. So are you expecting this first attempt to work? Are you expecting to have to come back? What made you decide the 3 different levels that you're taking pictures at?
We've done a lot of consultation with Julian Whitewright, who's been extremely helpful in telling us what to do. I'd like to think this is our only time to do it, but it may not be the case. As we learn with the lighting is very important, and we may not have quite enough light at the far end because it's quite dark. So it could well be that we had to come back again and do it all again. But overall, we're taking, I haven't worked out how many pictures we're going to take, but yeah, it's probably over 150, 200 pictures per trunk. So you can imagine it takes quite a lot of time to do. So.
Yeah, this is a very big item to start with. Presumably, as the project continues, all of the small components of the ship will also be photographed in this same way. Is it better to start with something large or something small, do you think?
To be honest, it's probably better to start with something small. At least then it's only probably, you're talking maybe 30 or 40 pictures to take, and you can get the lighting much more precise or more under your own control. In an indoor setting, with better light. Obviously we are indoors here, but we're just in a barn with some simple floodlights. So yeah, I think we've jumped in at the deep end, I think, yes.
And given that we are all in lockdown at the moment, is this something people could try at home?
Yeah, very much so, yes. I mean, taking the pictures is relatively easy. I think it's the software afterwards where you need a reasonably powerful computer to run the software, because you are uploading, as I say, maybe 150, 200 pictures of maybe 8 to 10 megabytes each one. So as you can imagine, that's a lot of processing that's required to sort out all the images. So it's not every laptop that's going to cope with this. It will be a bigger desktop, I would imagine, that would have to do all the development of the pictures into a 3D image. And
there's lots of different sorts of software out there, I understand. Which software are we planning to use?
The one that's been recommended to us is one called Agisoft. It's basically, apparently it's simple to use and quite straightforward, and the steps that one follows are easy to do. So that's the one that we'll be trying or using with the help of Julian Whitewright.
That's great. So if somebody's doing a project at home, I understand you can use that software for about 30 days free of charge. So as long as they got their pictures taken fairly quickly, so if they wanted to take a 3D image of the mug on their desk, they could quite quickly have a go. Is that right?
Yeah, you can get a 30-day trial, a free trial, so that's fine. That's no problem at all. And from what we've heard, is the thing to do is to take the pictures and then put them into the software straight away, so that you can process them and see if you've got any problems. There's no point waiting for a week or two. I think otherwise you'll forget what you have done and taken and where it went wrong. So take your pictures and upload them as quickly as you can.
Okay, that's great, thank you. Well, we look forward to seeing the 3D image sometime in the future. Thank you.